It's easy to miss the tiny triangle just below the Find button that allows you to drop down a menu. You can see it right here, and if you click and hold on the Find button, you'll get a menu. The first choice is Create New Find, which is the same as just clicking on the Find button. You also have Modify Last Find, which is the same choice as you have from the Records menu. And we've gone over this before. This allows you to modify your last find criteria. If we click and hold down again, there's some other choices that aren't quite clear here. We're going to cover those by example. So we'll click the Find button. We'll come into the State field and type in CA, and then perform the find. If you then click and hold down on the Find button, you'll see that you have a recent find there. If we show all records, and then click and hold down and choose that recent find, we can see that we do that find over again. In fact, if we show all records, and then let's say go to Memphis and change it to California, and then hold down and choose that recent find, you'll see that we now have Memphis inside there. That's because this remembers the find criteria, not the records that you found. So you can add, delete, or edit records, and that will change how your find works. So that's really a great little feature there. Now if you want something to be kept longer, for instance, these recent finds, there's only room for so many. If you want it to be kept longer, you need to use Save Finds, and we can just say Save the current find. We can call it California, so it's a little bit more readable, and hit Save. Now if we show all records, and then go to the Find and click and hold down, there's your California saved. Now it's important to remember on these saved finds and these recent finds that they're according to table. We only have one table in here, but depending on where you're doing the find, what layout you're on, and what table you're showing determines what you're going to go ahead and find on and what you see actually under this Find menu. It's also important to note that inside a multi-user environment, each account stores its own saved finds. So you can't really share these saved finds with other people on the network who are looking at the same database. They're personal to you. For you to do that, you're going to have to learn scripting. We'll cover that in the advanced tutorial, how to save finds and make them available to everybody. Now if we go to Find mode, you also see Save Finds here. And click and hold down, you have the same choices here. So you can get them from there if you want also. And if we click and hold down again, we also have Edit Save Finds. If we choose Edit Save Finds, you notice that you get all of your finds that you've saved, not the recents, just the saved ones, and you can click on one and edit it. You can change the name if you want. Let's call it California and Osborne, in anticipation of how we're going to change it, because we can go into Advanced and change it even further. I can click on here and edit this and go, oh, I want to change this to Washington, and just hit the Change button. Now it's searching for Washington. Of course, I still want California because that's the name of the saved find here, so we'll change it back. In fact, I can even add in new criteria. So I've clicked on the last name field, typed in Osborne, and I can hit Add. Now it has to be California and the name Osborne in there. If I want, I can even add a new request, and we can go, okay, well maybe we want to do the state, and we'll make that Massachusetts. We'll add that, click OK, and now we have two requests. Find any records that have Osborne and state of California, or any record that has Massachusetts. And we can then click OK, click Save, and that's saved. In fact, if you want to, you can hit New here and start from the nuts and bolts right from the beginning. Just go in here and make any kind of criteria without ever doing a find in the first place. It's obviously much easier to do the find first and then come in here and maybe do a little bit of editing, or just simply never go into this area at all except to edit the name. This is just much more complicated to deal with than just simply doing the find. Plus, when you do the find, you can verify your work. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted it to do. So you'll see now, if we go to Find and click and hold down, we have California and Osborne, and it now does that find. California and Osborne, and then here we have all the Massachusetts here. So that works out great. So don't forget, don't miss that little option there, this little down arrow that indicates that you can pop this up and make tons of choices here. And don't forget also, you have Clear All Recent Finds. So when this gets cluttered here, just choose Clear All Recent Finds, and they won't be there anymore.